natuur.
3.
Ik geloof is zo 3. Ja. Zeer zeer. Oh, Sven.
15-4. Ja, muss schon mal bremsen. Okay.
Ganz durch, hè.
Hey, bitte.
On peut, hein.
Right, voor daar.
Also neug vom Gelb, hein.
Sorry?
Neug, oder?
2. 2 is schon um 1,5 Meter.
So spielt er Split, oder? Ja. Fucking ook Linie, ja.
2. Lang ist gut, nee, ist gut. Das müsste eigentlich länger laufen als das vorher.
Also, wir werden noch sehen.
Ist ein bisschen näher als
Ja, ist fast.
ist fast free.
Fast free. Nicht ganz.
Ja, wir müssen bremsen für ein Girl. Gut.
Bon, weiß nicht. Ja. Also, ein großer Unterschied. Ja. Doch nicht. Aber sehr schön ein bisschen. Morgen haben wir Mundglas, ne? Bei Mundglas, ne?
Okay. Speed wird gut sein. Sag kein Gönder. Out ist auch kriegen.
Hello, curling fans. We're off. I'll give everyone a few minutes to join us. Well, the team's already through for last stone and continuing their superb run of form in this competition. It is Marco Hoesli's team who start the final of the BADEN Masters with last stone advantage. We have a repeat of last season's final of the Swiss Championship. You are watching Swiss champions Yannick Schwaller's team playing the vice Swiss champions Marco Hoesli's team. Both teams unbeaten so far this weekend.
11,5. 11. Serre 11.
But we are down to the last two. One of the teams will emerge champion from here. It's the first time in the final for Team Hoesli, first time even in the semi-final for Team Hoesli. And they made short work of Bruce Mouat's world champions. More familiar territory for Yannick Schwaller, but this constellation, they have not won this competition actually. Several of Yannick's team have won this competition in different guises, in different teams. But the Swiss champions have not yet won in Baden.
Ja, nee, nicht gut. Nee, eine halbe. Nee, eine halbe. Nee, eine halbe. Ja, zo.
We will be saying hello to the teams shortly. We will play 8 ends in the final. If we need an extra end if scores are tied, we will play a 9th. So both teams unbeaten so far. Who will emerge triumphant?
Zoveel?
Niet slecht in foul.
Naturally, both of these teams know each other very well.
Also immer high, ja, logischerweise.
Vinger is niet slecht, ja.
Die is al eens okay.
But a very evenly matched lineup out there.
Linbia, clean. Linbia. Dat is wel doen. Ik was dat al trop peut-être.
You
Linbia.
can see fairly busy club room. If you're nearby,
Ça flotte maintenant encore.
you are most welcome to come join.
14-4.
Vinger was super, hè.
It's free to
2 Stunden, 2 Stunden.
come join us in the club room. We've got air conditioners this year. It was really boiling on Friday and Saturday, or Thursday and Friday, but it's a little bit more comfortable now. But the ice has been super all weekend. Departing Ice Master Jamie and incoming Ice Master Freezer have been keeping the ice at championship level. That's what all the top teams expect. Very important. It's not all about the all-you-can-eat buffet at this competition. The top teams, they really need the best ice. So big thanks to Jamie and Fraser and the ice team for managing a whole lot of draws since Thursday evening.
Yep. Zien. Goed. Wow. Pen.
And you heard Marco Hoesli shouting to try to catch the curl on that yellow stone, but not catching enough, and that means that yellow rolls out.
Ja, kan je gaan er niet mee, wenn wir wenn. Nee. Oder aktiver, beides gut.
And still a couple of guards in play. Objectives in the first end. I'm sure you know the drill by now. Schwaller's team without last stone. They want to prevent Marco Hoesli building points, building an end, and scoring 2 or more. And Marco Hoesli would like to score 2 points or more.
C'est le maximum de curl. Ligne un peu. Quoi? Amène là. Bise 4.
Yeah, two well-matched teams out there.
Maintenant tu peux curler.
The Swiss champions,
Pas trop.
Yannick Schwaller's team playing red.
Bise 4.
The Swiss vice champions, Marco Hoesli's team playing yellow. Schwaller finished second in the world last year in the ranking list, and Hoesli finished 9th. But what a competition Marco Hoesli's team has had. They demolished the European champions yesterday and demolished the world champions, Bruce Mouat's team, this morning in the semi-final. They should be brimming with confidence for this, the unofficial start of the curling season. Or the official start, depending on who you talk to.
Pen hard. Pen. Clean. Right.
And we watched Team Hoesli do this all morning. Just that quiet way. Move the stone that's in the house, but make sure your stone sticks around. That's the tactic to take home and use at your club. If you just want a single stone hit and roll, that quiet weight, just about hack, a little more than hack to barrier, or hack to board, as the rest of the world says. That's all you need, and that gives your sweepers a better chance to control the curl. You don't need full beans for a single hit and roll or a single takeout.
Curl. West.
Well, that is not going to curl the way they wanted at all.
Halb 4 is ook goed.
And now an early
We
chance
staan al boven.
for
Komt wel
Hösli team to put some pressure on the last throw of Yannick Schwaller's team.
Schmittel will ein bisschen weniger nehmen noch.
Gut.
Ja. Ja, vielleicht noch einen halben Meter härter.
Ja.
Misschien is... Ja, genau. Misschien is 15, 50 viel. Genau. Ja, halbieren.
First stone of their first final for Philip Hoesli. If you've been watching for a while, gang, you will know that I have quite a soft spot for Hösli team because I played them in Clara's club when they were still very little.
Ja, Carson. Carson. Okay, that's it.
A little bit high
Lustige blank toch?
on that attempt to draw in behind cover.
Definitiv, ja. Machen wir das?
Weet van niet dat we überhaupt
And I feel a conservative end coming on, gang.
11. Ja.
Ja. Oei.
That's the view from the hack. Yeah,
Mooi. Inderdaad.
big old space to get a stone through there. A hit and stick would be ideal. Force Philip Hoesli to play against something. But first things first, make the yellow disappear.
Go. Go. Whoa. Good. Whoa. Straight.
That stone
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
is catching the curl a little bit now, but again, maybe not curling as much as they were expecting, Schwaller's team. But he has stuck the landing, and he will force Philip Hoesli to play against something.
Komm, c'est pas... Wie schnell ist das?
So objective is met for Schwaller's team in this first end without last stone. They want to prevent Marco Hösli scoring 2 or more. There is no opportunity for Hösli to score more than 1. So strong start for Yannick Schwaller. Objective for Marco Hösli. He can't score 2 or more in this end, therefore he would rather hang on to last stone and try again in the second end. So asking his brother Philip to remove that stone, just played by Schwartz, and he would like to roll out of the house as well. He does not really want to take 1 point here. Oh boy. Fabulous sweep from Simon Glure there. That stone held its breath on the way round. And a cagey start, conservative stuff. Objectives met though for Yannick Schwaller's team. They did prevent Marco Hösli scoring 2 or more. And Marco Hösli realising that, okay, we're going to bail out this end and we will hang on to last stone, try again in the second. So after one end in our final here at BADEN Masters 2025, that was a blank end. The score remains Schwaller 0, Hösli 0. Let's say a proper hello to the teams. On the left, the familiar team of Yannick Schwaller. Fourth thrower is Benoit Schwartz van Berkel. Third and skip is Yannick Schwaller. Second thrower Sven Michel. Lead throw is Pablo Lachat Couchepin. And over on the right, first time in the final here in Baden is Team Hoesli. Fourth thrower is Philip Hoesli. Third and skip is older brother Marco Hösli. Second throw is Simon Glure. Lead thrower is Justin Hausherr. And the Hösli team really been together for a long, long time since they were juniors. Simon, relatively new addition, but fitting right in. And they've just been making steady progress year on year, Team Hösli. May not be glamorous, but they have just worked and worked and worked. And finally, I was talking to them at lunchtime, just asking how they were feeling about the final, how they were feeling about their outstanding performance so far this weekend. And they said that they just felt like all the pieces were finally together. And yeah, they've been knocking on the door for a while to get to semis and finals of this kind of competition. And they have slowly just been working hard year on year, making progress year on year. Personal best for the team last season, becoming Swiss vice champions, reaching the final there for the first time, reaching the final here for the first time. Everything's coming up Hoesli. So Justin Hauser, what a game he had this morning. He and Simon, they just couldn't miss that centre line. They chased the world champions off the ice 8-0 in 5 ends, didn't once have last stone. And that stone also just running on a little bit, but finding a spot in behind cover. Mouat has it actually curled back out the other side. How much of that can Sven Michael see?
Okay, then clearing.
Lovely setup play from both lead players. Pablo Lachat attacking the centre line. Justin Hauser setting up a point behind cover, behind a corner guard. And now it's up to the rest of the team to do something with it.
Es ist vielleicht sogar 2. Länge ist gut.
Linie ist perfekt.
Eine halbe. Vielleicht 2.
We had 7 Olympic teams here this weekend, gang, including Schwaller. They already know they will represent Switzerland at Olympics next year. Also qualified are Italy, of course, hosting, but also handily one of the best teams in the world. Mouat's team, who ran into the Hösli brick wall this morning, they will be representing Great Britain. Canada, Sweden, Germany, Norway and Czechia also qualified, and all those teams were here. It's a big season, 25 to 26. So stones flying everywhere. Curlers chasing after them. And that's not quite the result that Simon wanted.
Split center through.
He does move a guard off the centre, but unfortunately catches his own centre guard on the way through.
Linie ist gut. Alles rein.
Ist 3.
Ja, fast 12. Muss er können.
Ja, fast 12. 3
Also, ja, wir müssen können, das kann er übersetzen.
Does give Yannick Schwaller the opportunity to again play towards the centre. Objectives, same as first end. No score in the first end. And that means our objectives are the same. It is Yannick Schwaller's team without last stone. They wish to prevent Marco Hoesli scoring 2 or more. Marco Hoesli with last stone will be trying to get some yellows into play, get some yellows in behind cover in the house. But at the moment, he has more of an issue with stones cluttering up the centre line. So Simon Glure being asked for another big weight here. Gets everything moving, Simon. And clears the house of reds. Good job, sir.
Wie viel siehst du, Pablo?
Nice.
Oh, and look for an encore. He got a shooter to roll over and replace that corner guard. Look at that. Gold star for you, Simon Glure.
Ik hoop nu in die schouwen dat we gaan rollen, oder?
Simon in the team 2-3 seasons now. And the other three, the Hösli brothers and Justin Halser, really played together for a long, long time. And all that work coming good. But Yannick Schwaller reckons he can see enough of that yellow that is now the only thing in the house. And remembering what their objective is. You don't want to let yellows build up, so this is a nice call. But, oh gosh. I see. Well, I think the curling gods are having a bit of a joke there. That was an awfully happy result for for a bit of a missed throw there.
Oh, weil ich kann auch gewusst, ich finde, du bist wie breit sie gerade? Es hat angefangen zu curlen, oder?
Wie breit sind ja nur gerade gespielt, genau.
Es hat angefangen zu curlen?
Ja, genau.
Yeah, the Hoesli's deserved a bit better than that, but they're professional. They will deal with what's in front of them. That's the wrong Hösli brother. It is Marco Hösli throwing third. It used to be Philip. When they were younger, they played the sort of traditional lineup. So Marco's always been skip, and he used to throw fourth. And then Marco was out for most of the season about 3 or 4 years ago with a shoulder injury. And Philip took over throwing fourth, and that seems to still be working for them.
Ja, genau das, ja. Ja.
Aus. Ja. Dann eine halbe.
Ja.
So a nice throw from Marco, clearing out unexpectedly happy result from Schwaller's first stone, but that does leave that yellow open.
Clean.
Relax.
C'est assez bien, je pense. Attention, Sven.
Clean.
Sven. Clean.
And he would love a roll towards the centre with this. Doesn't get it. So with 4 stones to come. No, 5 stones to come. Maybe it's time to switch it up a bit and say, okay, if we're playing towards the centre, Marco Hösli trying to get into that all-important area just ahead of tee, front of house, and try and sink a yellow in behind the 2 centre guards. Welcome everyone in the chat if you want to share what's going on. If you want to show support, if you have a question, if you just want to say hi, if you want to shout out. We're friendly. You can leave a comment in the chat here, and also you can see some fun stuff over on the event's Instagram channel. That's BADEN Masters, all one word, all lowercase, BADEN Masters on Instagram. We've been talking to the teams and throwing in some fun little quiz questions for them as well. So that is pretty much exactly where Marco Hösli was aiming for.
Oder doppelt. Das so oder so? Ich meine, wenn ihr das in den Schopf dann. Dann rotiert.
Exactly top of 4. That's what they were doing honestly outstandingly this morning. They practically had radio controlled stones this morning. They just couldn't miss. Already in the chat we have superfan Megan. Hello to you, Megan. You've been a dedicated viewer as always all weekend. And is that Jez or Gaze? I think probably Jez, watching from Sheffield in England. Good to have you, Jez. Big throw from Benoit Schwartz, going for the pair of yellows. He's got just about enough of it. That is a fine throw from him, but he still leaves a centre guard out front. The advantage is though, if Benoit Schwartz needs to play that stone again, it will be a red stone he's driving back, not a yellow. And a good result for him. Ooh, curling news. Hello curling news, how are you? And the event story for Baden Masters with photos, and everyone likes photos, will be published minutes after this final. That's the spirit. We are so coordinated. If you want to see some more fun photos and some little videos, head over to Baden Masters Instagram. I've been hanging around the buffet. If you want to talk to boys' teams, hang around the food and you will have everyone coming past at some point. Same drill for Philip Hoesli. They just want to replace where that stone thrown just by his brother. Oh, and just to improve matters, he's covered the hole. So will Schwartz attempt the same stone again? As you see, it would be a red stone he's driving back this time.
Da går en freeze, ich weiß nicht, wie ich da zwei machen und wenn man ein bisschen tappen und Shot werfen. Sehr gut, oder? Also würdet ihr das?
Ihr würdet einfach nicht den Freeze, ihr würdet tappen zum Shot sehen oder the run.
The other option would be to chase that stone in from Philip Hoesli.
Run or freeze.
Schwaller's objective, don't let Hösli score 2. And one way of doing that would be to simply chase that stone in, just played by Philip Hoesli, and just make sure that the scoring area is essentially vanished.
Noch ein weniger. Ja.
But it looks like they are going for the same shot again, driving the centre guard back into the house, and this time it's his own stone, a red guard he's driving back. And not quite as big a weight as the last one, indicating he maybe wants to go red to yellow and stick the red. Oh, but he doesn't know. Were they being a little ambitious on that one? If he'd just played exactly the same stone and just cleared it, we'd probably have had another blank, but that has opened the door for Philip Hoesli to play same again, please. He needs to outcount that red that's half in the 8 foot. Last stone of the second end of the final here at Baden Masters 2025. It is Philip Hoesli who needs to find the 8 foot to put a score of 2 on the scoreboard. And everybody looking fairly comfortable. The sweepers constantly looking up just to make sure they're judging the weight correctly. professionally done from Hösli. So, objective met for Marco Hösli. He wanted to score 2 with last stone. Objective missed for Yannick Schwaller. They wanted to stop Marco Hösli scoring 2 with last stone. So it's the Höslis who have got off to the better start. After 2 ends here of our final at Baden Masters, it is Marco Hösli 2, Yannick Schwaller 0.
Dings Run hat schon ein bisschen Görler gehabt drum und dann habe ich gedacht, ja, macht es wirklich gar nichts. Aber ja, hey, next one.
If you joined us this morning for the semi-final, where we watched Marco Hösli cheerfully demolishing world champions Bruce Mouat, and I don't say that very often, you will have noticed we have active cam today, and we have 2 young ladies from Baden Club here who are very expertly on the active cam. There she is. So we say a big thank you to our intrepid camera ladies who did a super job in the semi-final, and we are happy to have them back in the final.
Ça c'est 17-3, toujours aussi rapide.
I'm sure someone will put the score up at some point, but if we've learned one thing this weekend, it's that I think we need some sort of scoreboard training for all the teams before they start off. We've really been guessing at some points. But there is only one game. It's the final. We're down to the last 2 teams standing. And it is a score of 0-2. Go on, Yannick. No, never mind. Oh, he's nearly there. Yeah, good job. So an aggressive start from Schwaller, throwing up the corner guard. He will be eager to put 2 straight back on the scoreboard. That's their objective for this 3rd end. There we are. And objective for Hösli. Well, it's objectives reversed since the first couple of ends, so Hösli's objective is to prevent Yannick Schwaller scoring 2. And that stone just slipping on a little bit from Justin Hauser. Looks like the ice is running very fast. Maybe taking the teams just an end or 2 to figure out the speed of the ice there. Departing Ice Master Jamie and incoming Ice Master Fraser have really been working not quite round the clock, but mostly round the clock all weekend, but really keeping the ice conditions fast and curly. That's what we like, and that's a super setup from Pablo Lachat-Couchepin. That is exactly what he wanted. A little half shot from Justin Hauser, just overthrowing his 2nd stone there. So Hösli needs to be a little bit careful here. Simon Glur being asked to follow that stone, just played by Pablo. And what a judge that was. I was a bit nervous to sweep for curl on that stone, but Marco knows what he's doing. Gets that shot from Simon Glur round the guard by molecules. But 2 stones still behind T that are not too helpful for yellow. Indeed, giving Yannick Schwaller a chance to just bury it better next time. Yeah, look how close to the guard that is. And Marco knows what he's doing, and he says, no, we can sweep for curl.
Achtung, Linie muss spielen. 8, 12. Linie.
Länge ist gut jetzt.
Linie.
Ja, ist
Linie. Linie. Linie.
fast
Linie
die
gut.
F4, fast die.
Girl.
This is very similar. Very nice from Sven Michael.
Ja, schön.
And he's really buried that.
Sorry.
That's a fine throw from him. And yeah, no choice this time. Need to go for the raise. So guard onto shot. Big throw from Simon. And he has lifted the pair of them. Lovely throw from him. Inevitably, he does leave a corner guard out front, but it's now yellow. But as we see, this is still the best strategy for Yannick Schwaller, is to keep piling stones in behind cover. If you're forcing your opposition to play a raise every stone,
No Linie, Yannick, Moment.
they have to miss at some point.
Curl and skate. Linie gut. Nein, was heißt nicht Curl, 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 curl.
This is the third time they've played this line, Yannick Schwaller's team, so they know it very, very well. And yep, pretty much where they wanted it from Sven Michael. But this time, if they go for the raise, it's their own yellow stone they'll be driving back.
Ich könnte wünschen, wäre das das Beste, aber ich habe mal Kontakt.
So yellow onto red is the call.
In. Yep. Hard. 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 Hard.
Tried to hold it straight this time, but that's caught a little too much curl. And that is the chance that Yannick Schwaller was waiting for. Why is it such a big difference between 2 points and 1 point? Well, we can do a thought experiment to help us. Let's imagine an end of perfect curling in our heads. So you play a perfect stone, then your opposition plays a perfect stone, then you play perfect stone, etc. At the conclusion of that end, your opposition can score 1 point with their one last shot. If you do that for 8 ends, you will end up with a score of 4 each. So you need to do something more than just picking up 1 point with your one last shot. And how do you do that? You do that by forcing your opposition to make a mistake, getting a miss from your opposition, and then that can give you a chance to score 2 points. So roughly speaking, 0 mistakes from your opposition means you can score a maximum of 1. 1 mistake from your opposition and you can score 2. 2 mistakes, you can score 3, etc., etc. And that's why it's such a big difference between scoring 1 with last stone, which we can think of as kind of the default, and scoring more than 1.
Ligne bien. Laisse-la travailler si tu peux.
Yannick Schwaller, it's a very nice play
Tu peux attendre.
from
Si tu peux, c'est large maintenant.
front end.
Jetzt ist
Waddell
large.
and Sven
Ja, jetzt sind wir auf
did
die
get a
Platz.
mistake from
14-7.
Hösli.
Tu peux couper.
Not quite making the run back, and now
Devant hein. 4 pieds.
he wraps a second red in,
Ah, monsieur.
far away from his counterpart,
Also, ich glaube, ich will faire eine Goutte.
and this ends looking pretty nice.
Siehst du?
Curl.
Ist das da? Out. Bis Heck. Wenn es wirst staffen, ist nicht mal so angenehm für sie.
looking at how to get to that red, just thrown by Yannick Schwaller. That is a long way from the yellow out front. It doesn't look that long from our angle here, but it is. Yeah, that's a better angle there. It is quite a few meters from the yellow there near centre line to drive that back onto the red. To do that accurately, quite a hard ask.
Probier einen schlechter Stoß als das Eis da.
Well, the brothers reckoning there's a path in between those two yellow guards to get to the red.
Yep. Clean. Close. Yep, hard.
And they are absolutely right. Look at that. I wouldn't even have the nerve to call that shot, and a worthy round of applause here in the club. Very courageous call, and that coming off for them. Wonderful shot from Marco Hösli, putting the pressure right back onto Yannick Schwaller.
Mit hinter Kartro. Ja, weißt du? Ah gut, ich kann gar nicht übergehen.
I spoke to the unfortunate European champions from Germany yesterday evening after they got chased off the ice by Hösli's team in 5 ends, I think it was, or 6, and I said, oh, maybe you were a little bit tired. They had a real bruising game against Brunner in the afternoon to qualify for quarterfinals, and they were the only team who then went on to play in the evening session. All the other teams had more of a rest, and I thought, oh, maybe they were, you know, a bit tired after playing Brunner, but they said no. Team Hoesli was just too good. So, fine throw from Yannick Schwaller as well, finding that little gap between the two yellows.
Also wenn du confident bist, können wir das da spielen. Sonst ist das eine Option für mich.
So that's the situation. I think it is 2 red. I think both of those just grabbing more of the 8 foot and the yellow at the back there. So now what do you do? Your objective, remember, try to prevent Yannick Schwaller scoring 2. You can do that either by trying to remove reds or by trying to set yourself up better than the reds. Yeah, I thought Marco had already thrown 2. He just wants to throw everything today. Looks like the call is yellow onto red. Yes, no sweeping. Typically a happy sign. Yellow onto red, he's got it. Nice work, Philip Hoesli, but again, it's that red far away from everything else that is still lying short, and that gives Benoit Schwarz a chance to wrap another red in
Okay.
and sit 2.
Wo? Ich gehe auf 15.
Of course, these ends are really difficult when all 3 stones are kind of the same.
Yeah.
And it's currently 1 red and then yellow lying second and third, but it could just as easily be 2 yellows and red lying third. It's just a matter of 1 or 2 centimetres only. Benoit Schwarz then looking to get a second red in behind cover.
Okay, Linie ist gut. Brauchst du Backing oder?
Schon Feder.
Linie! Linie gut, Linie gut.
The line looks lovely. They want it
Nicht zu lang.
right to Yannick's brush there.
Und noch gleich, und noch gleich, und noch gleich, und noch gleich.
That's a superb throw from Schwarz.
Roll hinten drin hat, weißt du.
And this is a great response from Yannick Schwaller's Swiss champions.
Vielleicht haben wir eine Chance.
Hoesli team with a well worked 2 in that second end, but this is a great response from Schwaller, demanding a very precise shot now from Philipp Hoesli to prevent Yannick from scoring 2.
Hast du gefunden? Okay. Oh,
Etwas falsch gesehen.
ich has,
Also sehr, sehr gut release vom Steve.
ja.
Also ich kann es echt.
So this is the right call,
Oh, ich
a little more conservative, throwing the big weight rather than trying to outdraw the red in the middle or chase it in. Let's at least get rid of 1 red. And he is going to over-roll slightly.
Ja, der
But I think that was
Ja.
the best idea at this early stage.
Kannst du sagen, Jesus?
Müssen wir nicht so schnell
If Schwaller scores 2 just now in the third end, not the end of the world, but you really don't want to give him a chance at any more than that. That will simply level the scores. But this is a really nice response from Schwaller in the third end. And Benoit Schwarz has exactly the same again, please, to reply with 2 on the board.
Auch ziemlich aktiv, ist gut.
Linie ist auch genau gleich.
Famously, the most
The
difficult
lineage.
shot in curling.
Right.
Same again, please, but
Kannst du ein bisschen weiter raus.
typically not for
Ja,
these
ja,
guys.
ist ja.
Everybody looking
Du durchwischen bitte.
fairly happy with that.
Vor den Dreck können.
Sven Michael putting an arm up already to say, yeah, you're fine. Indeed they are. Well played end then from Schwaller, and immediately putting 2 back on the board. So after 3 ends then, that levels the score in our final game here of the BADEN Masters 2025. We will have a new champion. Will it be Yannick Schwaller, the current Swiss champions, or will it be Marco Hoesli, the current Swiss vice champions? After 3 ends, the score is 2 each.
Das ist gut, sagt sie ja. Doch, Familie da, hallo?
Eins. Okay. Kannst nicht. Also Linie sieht nach 3 aus, aber gehen wir noch weit. Machen wir. Centerline. Nicht zu nah ist okay, einfach Centerline. Sehr gut, super. Sehr gut. Ja, ist gut. Ligne très bien, bis et fair, gut. Straight. Ligne bien. Fast ein bisschen breit jetzt. Ja, du kannst curven, du kannst gucken, wenn du willst. Es sieht nicht so kurz aus. Pfister. Jetzt ist alles gut sogar.
If you're just joining, welcome to you. You are in. No, we are in the fourth end of the final of the BADEN Masters 2025. We will have new champions, last year's champions and all-round winning team Mouat, falling at the semi-final to an inspired Marco Hösli's team. First time in the semi-final even for Hösli, first time in the final. Yannick's team, Yannick, Benoit and Sven have all won this competition before, but not in this constellation, so either way, we will have a new team as champions here in Baden. This is a replay of the Swiss National Championship at the end of last season. It was Yannick's team who won that. They are the current Swiss champions. And Marco's team are the vice champions, silver medalists. The man in your picture, Sven Michael. First time he won this competition was 2011. 14 years ago. So we're pretty familiar with Schwaller's lineup, and Marco's team really up and coming. They had a strong season last year and just year on year just getting better and better. And talking to them at lunchtime, they said they felt like all the pieces of the jigsaw were finally in place. So everything clicking, really finding their rhythm. And if you don't believe them, go and ask the European champions, Muskatewitz of Germany, and the world champions, Mouat of Scotland. Both of whom didn't really know what hit them. Selina from Zurich in the chat. Hello, Selina. Selina Pfister. Are you a relative of Mark and Enrico? We had the Philippines men's team here again this year. Always fun to watch them. We were chatting to Mark and Enrico and Alan and Christian. Also at lunch, as I mentioned. If you want to talk to a boys' team, hang out near the food. Here's Sue in Michigan. I hope you had a good sleep, Sue. She's bookending her Saturday night with semi-final before she goes to bed, and then final when she wakes up in the morning. That's the spirit. Tom's rail announcements. He's been in the chat all weekend. Thanks for your participation, Tom. And we've been chatting to several of the teams over the weekend, asking them about their season, about their curling, and also just some fun questions as well. We don't have halftime quiz this year, so we have substituted that with just some fun little quiz questions on Instagram with the teams instead. So look up BADEN Masters on Instagram. That's all one word, BADEN Masters, all lowercase. And you will see a selection of the teams with some fun little questions, including Team Hoesli in front of you.
Gut. Gleiche Länge. Gleich wie vorher.
Ja.
Abzweig.
Ist gut. Ja, ja.
Genau gleich wie vorher.
Intensiv springen.
Genau gleich wie vorher.
Ja, kannst du schon noch. Ja, ich mag's ja.
Länge ist sehr gut. Out jetzt noch.
Well, this is
Out.
coming in hot. Ooh.
Ja, ja.
Perfekt.
Just about found a good place with a bit of help from his sweepers, Simon Glur. And it is yellow line 2. So if they can keep doing that,
Ja, weißt du, wenn du das
that
gehst,
is exactly what Marco Hösli
also
wants.
wenn du das machst.
Objective still fairly straightforward. We're still in the first half of the game. And with last stone, with scores level, Marco Hösli will simply be happy to score 2 or more.
Sehr, sehr dünn.
If not possible, he would like a blank.
Aber es geht. Also für mich ist relativ intuitiv der
And what he
Hit
really
und
doesn't
Roll,
want
aber der Free,
is
der
to give
Tap,
away
okay,
a point
kann man auch.
to
Ich
Schwaller.
find's.
We play 8 ends in Baden. If scores are tied, we will play an extra end. We've only had one extra end all weekend, which is unusual.
Ja, dann macht er Hit. Ich glaube, du musst es killen, ja. Ja, ich glaube, du musst es killen, aber...
It was, by coincidence, the world's longest game.
Ja, ja. Ja,
I think 6.5 hours that game took
das
overall
war halb.
for 9 ends.
Also, kannst schneller, wenn du willst. Aber, ja. Ich glaube, viele. Sehr gut.
Yannick Schwaller then facing 2 yellow counters.
Muss Jamie rufen.
We did have a guest appearance this morning on the stream before the game from incoming Ice Master Fraser,
Okay.
imported from Scotland, where they certainly know how to make ice. And Fraser was just having his breakfast and was getting waved at by the Scottish team,
Ja.
and just went down to fix one of the handles on the stones. And apparently the Scots saying to him, well, do you think we were just waving good morning? Well, all the handles in working order for the final
Das
here.
Pablo. Oui.
Yannick Schwaller facing 2 yellows.
Wow. Girl. Pousse, Sven. Pousse, Sven. La ligne est parfaite. Pousse.
That has done exactly enough from Schwaller. That yellow doesn't need to go out of play, but it does need to be out-counted by the reds. And he's done that beautifully, so now it is red line first shot, yellow second, red third, under Philip Hösli's brush there, and that yellow just bumped through by Yannick at the back. That will surely not come into play again. So that's another good learning, is that there are plenty of occasions when you don't have to move a stone out of play, you just have to move it enough, and that was one of them.
Spin. Easy. Fell. Whoa. Spin. Spin. Fell. 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 Fell.
Schon noch weit.
Fell hard. Fell hard. Hard. Hard.
Simon Glur really putting his back into that, and they are rewarded with
Ja, aber...
a hit and stay. Yellow,
ja,
again
aber
lie
deswegen,
2.
hat er drüber geschaut.
But you can see the danger there.
Guter Marco.
That stone creeping towards the centre line. If anyone can get a roll in behind,
Ja, genau.
just like that, that
12
will
halb
make
her.
the clockwise handle quite
Dritter drüben.
difficult. These two teams have played each other
Clean.
millions of
Attention,
times.
Pablo.
Very familiar with each other's
C'est bien,
game.
c'est bien. Clean, attends. Attention. Whoa, 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 whoa! Girl! Girl!
You can kind of feel how cagey it is. A lot of respect between the two teams, and that is a fine throw from Yannick. You can see what that has done is brought that stone. We were just doing hip for hip, and now if you hit on that stone, I don't think it will outcount the red exactly. So nothing to be gained anymore from hitting that red stone just thrown by Yannick Schwaller. You would just end up in the 12 foot. That doesn't help. But that a dangerous stone for Schwaller. Yeah, this is quite a dangerous situation for Hoesli. Yellow lies shot. The yellow in the back of the 8 foot there. No advantage now to hitting that red as we had before. Maybe the double goes. But if you leave that red, it's just bursting to be pushed back a metre or so into the 4 foot. Jez asking why the apostrophe in Thompson there. They got a good view of it there. I don't know. I think it must, if any of our Swiss friends know, please enlighten us. It must be some sort of German play on words. I'm okay in German, but I'm not very good at word games. So the decision is that those reds are too dangerous to do nothing about. And as I also said, and this is a good one to remember at the club, you don't have to be lying short or in a kind of final position. You don't have to get to that every single stone. So it's fine to say, you know, if I'm going to play this, then I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to set up a situation and finish it off with final stone. Last stone with Hoesli this end. So that's a good one to think of when you're playing at the club. You don't need to be lying short at every stone. But it so happens with that very clean double takeout, Hoesli is now line 2. Yeah, that's a nice one to see again. Just pops straight in the middle of the pair of them. Yeah, those reds were far too dangerous to leave lying around. Certainly though, a path to those two yellows. Are we looking at another blank end? Possible. I think that will be probably the rule that will be discussed next, the next time the rules are updated. Rules always evolving to keep the game interesting. And some competitions, they've experimented with different rules for blank ends. And he's got the pair of them. What a shot by Schwarz. And he's rolled in behind cover, of course. Or has he? Can you see it round the outside? I think you can get to that red outside. Yeah, you could come all the way around the anti-clockwise handle. That's the more conservative approach, just get rid of that red. The more aggressive approach would be to sink another yellow, or it could be they're doing both. Are they just aiming to land on top of that red, cancel it out, and sit your yellow right in front of it? It looks like that is indeed the call. So this is more aggressive approach then. Still wanting to use that corner guard. Sink a yellow in behind it. You do have a red if needed behind T.
Out! 10. 10, 10.
Yeah.
And indeed, Philip Hoesli just
Either
finding
out or in.
enough curl and
Thanks
enough
for
weight
that,
to
yeah.
punch that red through. But
In
what do you
down,
think,
yeah, yeah.
gang? It is looking awfully
Thanks,
like a
Whyte.
blank suddenly.
10,5.
That a large measure, though, of the
Ja, 10,5.
respect for the firepower that both these teams have. You can kind of feel how tense it is out there. Neither team willing to go all out aggressive, which we would expect. It's still early days.
Good out.
We're just at the halfway turn.
Girl, mate.
And that red is going to roll out. So that gives Philip Hoesli a free throw. You will not see Philip Hoesli land a stone in the rings. He could do that very easily if he wanted to. But as we said, their objective with last stone advantage was to try to score 2. Like we said, scoring 1 with last stone is kind of the default. You need to do more than that at least once to win the game. So Hoesli's objective really to score 2 with last stone advantage, and Philip Hoesli has a free throw here. He will just throw this kind of board weight, and he's not throwing at anything, he's just throwing a different path on the ice just to see what that looks like. They can still learn something from this stone, so he's not exactly just throwing it away. But just watching, what does the stone do when we play that ice? But it will be a blank. And nothing to separate these two teams, the Swiss champions from the Swiss vice champions. They finished 1 and 3 overall in this competition. It is another blank end in the 4th, and at the halfway turn of the final at BADEN Masters, it is Yannick Schwaller 2, Marco Hösli 2.
Darf nicht rein? Gut.
Zeg niet, Max, ja. Nee, nee.
Hij komt dat linie. Kom op.
Nee,
Splitsen.
Turn mid.
Perfect start from Pablo Lachat-Couchepin.
this way.
Objectives have not changed. The Hoeslis with last stone advantage. They would like to score 2 points. Oh no, we just saw Pablo. That is Justin Halser. Objectives then the same as they were in the 4th end. With last stone advantage, Hoesli would prefer to score 2. And Schwaller's objective in this 5th end is to prevent them scoring 2. We may start to see the strategy evolving a little bit in the next end, the 6th, 7th and 8th. Then you start playing the scoreboard a little bit and saying, okay, we've only got 2 ends left. And sometimes, or often, you will see the teams decide to force the issue. But no need for that this minute.
Ja, no. Es ist T, ja. Ja, ist zu schnell.
Oh, Pablo doesn't like the look of this one.
Genau wie er.
Oh, that's an intense steer. Yeah, he's not pleased with that. Oh, I think it's okay, but he maybe wanted it ahead of T. But on the active cam, capturing all the emotions today, we have 2 young ladies from BADEN Club, 2 junior curlers, doing a fabulous job with the active cam. They were helping us on the semi-final this morning, and they did such a lovely job. that they are here again in the final. So many thanks to our 2 courageous ladies for doing camera lady duties.
Besser jetzt. 12. Wir nehmen noch an. 12.
Non, c'est pas dans ce carte, non, non, 15-5, c'est bien.
Corner freeze hier ist ziemlich gut.
And once again, a lovely setup from Justin Hausherr.
Wenn man könnt,
Slightly different
Right,
strategy
Captain,
though
over,
from
good.
Marco Hösli
Ja,
now.
sehr gut, ja.
We've seen Justin Hausherr throwing corner guard and then a shot in behind.
Wenn man könnt neben dran tappen. Wir sind halt ein bisschen offen, aber dann hat es
Freestep ist
Kanapé
gut.
da.
And a valid strategy
Hinten
here,
Pierre.
trying to take control of the centre before Yannick Schwaller can,
Gut.
but
Freeze tap.
this can be risky. As we've seen, if you get it wrong, then you can end up with all paths blocked, which is less likely to happen if you play away from the centre, as we've seen Marco do until now. So a valid strategy, I call this kind of a mixed double strategy. Everyone kind of piling towards the centre, trying to set up some angles.
Hinne 12 fast. Hinne 12.
Keep stones in front of tee, keep stones in play. And then with one big shot, a big pile of points, please.
Gut so, ja.
And that's a lovely shot from Sven Michael. Both those yellows now behind tee.
Circle.
Crowd the run.
So even though
Oh, it's okay.
those yellows still, well, one fully 4 foot, one touching 4 foot, Sven has really neutralised them, because behind tee can be quite difficult to bring those shots back into play. Full beans from Simon Gluer. It's not quite as nice as he would have wanted. He's cleared out a couple from the 4 foot, but he's left himself up front there. But it will be a yellow stone. He's driving back next time. That's another good tactic that you should use at the club, is if it's your last stone in the end, it's rarely a bad idea to remove the centre guard. So if you're not sure what to do, you've got last stone, there's a centre guard out front, you will make the situation better by removing it 90% of the time. So Sven up for a chat here. Sven, a competent skip himself.
Hinten ran verstecken, ja.
Man kann schon das Eis machen, ich glaube, er stellt dann oder? Dann macht dann langsam das da und dann wird es ein bisschen eng. Müssen wir gleich auch wieder kämpfen. Ja,
Hier hat schon heute schon Goal, ja. Oder freeze.
Freeze. Hier.
You can see Yannick and Sven really paying no attention to that yellow.
Ja, wir müssen fast stehen.
That's not the dangerous stone for them. The dangerous stone is still that guard out front, really.
Ja, ist okay.
They could very easily just remove that yellow, but that doesn't really help them.
Also Eis müsste hinten ran
That
blocken,
yellow
oder?
at the edge
Ganz,
of 4
genau,
foot.
split center, oder?
That's not a risk for them. It's the guard out front that might cause them trouble.
Ja, nein, nein, nicht so viel. Schon auf der Gelbe.
Oh, thank you, Mike, in England.
Ja, ich
You've
meine
been
eher hier.
watching for the weekend. I'm happy you've joined us.
Beides
Glad you
gut,
enjoyed it.
sowieso.
There is not much curling in England, no. We will be at the Rose Bowl. That is just north of
Und dann
Manchester
tappt er,
area.
oder?
It's the English Mixed Doubles Championship in a few weeks' time. But as far as I know, that's the only place that has regular curling in England.
Siehst du das? Aber weißt du, er muss so gut sein, dass er nicht hier mit einem geraden Aus weggehen. Komm, wir machen es 1.
Ja, ist noch ein Weg.
That's in Preston. So yeah, if you're not in the north of England, indeed,
Was spielen wir?
not much opportunity for curling in England at the moment.
Den Roll können wir nicht zutun mit einem 1. Das geht nicht.
But glad to have you, Mike.
Den Roll
Thanks for
können wir
joining.
nicht zutun mit einem 1. Das geht nicht.
Beide sind gut.
Ja, ja, der geht locker.
Eis ist auch sehr gut.
Aber ist ja okay, wenn er auf das eingeht. Dann.
Eis, gut.
Ja.
Leicht über Curl nachher. Ganz leicht. Ja, 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 das ist so, ja.
Now is the time to get into curling in this Olympic year or Olympic winter. We will all be in Italy for the Winter Olympics there in Milano Cortina in February time. And of course, everybody gets into curling for the Olympics. That's all anyone wants to talk about. So now's the time to get into curling. Learn about the teams to watch. And then you can show off to your friends that you're really in with the curling crowd. So we had 7 Olympic teams here, and 2 more will be at the qualifying event in Canada. Only 10 countries have a berth at Olympic curling. That's not many. Very competitive to get a place at Olympics. But here in Baden we have the teams from Italy, Great Britain, that is Bruce Mouat's team from Scotland, Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, Norway and Czechia. All their Olympic teams here in Baden. A nice cosy start to their season. And speaking of curling in Italy, there is a kind of pre-Olympic competition in a couple of weeks, the Trentino Curling World Cup in Cembra. You will see both these teams, both these Swiss teams, Schwaller and Hösli, both of them will be competing there. As well as European champions from Germany. 3 teams from North America, 2 Canadians, 1 from US. And I will be helping with the live stream from there as well. So that's in 2 weeks' time, the final weekend in August, the Trentino Curling World Cup from Cembra. Only 10 teams there, it's a small club, but 10 world-class teams coming against several Olympic teams. So put that in your diary. Come join us in Cembra for the Trentino Curling World Cup. You will see both the teams in front of you. And several more teams who will be at the Olympics in February. Just getting used to curling in Italy.
Hier, oder? Ist doch super.
Sehr gut. Watch mit dem Out.
Ja.
Marco Hösli then struggling a little bit to build an end here.
Nicht mal als Zeit, ja.
It's advantage Schwaller, I would say, in this 5th end.
Ja.
But still plenty of space.
Bisse. Max center ein bisschen, ja. Sehr gut.
As we said, though, the danger is those guards on the centre. Whoever can get a stone buried in behind that will be in a nice position.
Okay. Ligne bien. Si, je suis appelé heiß, ja. Toujours bien en ligne. Scalp fil, hein. Scalp fil. Oui. Oui. Hard. Go, go, go. Encore, go, 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 go. Ja, ich bin gut. Ja, on a essayé. Got in front.
And that stone, in German you say it's laufed and laufed, it just ran and ran. And that's not really what they expected. I think they were trying to just either directly sit on the front of tee in the 4-foot circle, or just get a little redirect off the red that's already there. And as you can see, pretty much what they've done is just make a big nest for a little Yellowstone to
Next to triple is
go ahead and snuggle in there.
Ja, eigentlich hat er sich nie noch gesehen.
Zwei noch dran, der weißt. So.
Or you may see, indeed, Marco Hösli just wanting to clear the forefoot entirely. If you put a shot in the little nest just now, you will find the little nest closing. And what's Hösli's objective? It's to score 2 yellows, not only 1.
Nur schon den Doppel machen. Guard ist genug hoch, wir werden etwas können chasen.
Oh, thanks, David, in the chat. Talking about the Flower Bowl in England, just outside Preston. Great venue and friendly members, he says. That's good to hear. Yes, I shall be a visitor there. I'm based in Switzerland now, but I'll be curling at the Flower Bowl in a couple of weeks. And David says they do taster sessions and have club leagues on Monday and Thursday. So if you are in England, and yeah, even look up a taster session, make a day of it. Go and try curling. As I said, you will be the cool person in your crowd when Olympics comes if you know all about curling in advance. So this looks like it will be coming in hot.
Ja, nicht ganz, aber es ist, ja.
Halt! Clean! Yep, yep! Halt! Halt!
Ooh, that curled half a centimetre too much there.
Oder direkt.
You can see if that stone had just been a centimetre more to the right. Oh, and there's a
Also so, Pfister Dolly hier.
the universal looking to the skies of disappointment
So, Pfister Dolly ist mega gut.
when it just curls a fraction too much. That's a dangerous yellow, but didn't quite make contact where they were looking for.
Pfister Dolly Split Center ist golden.
Ja, wirklich. Pin eigentlich. Top pin.
Ja, ja.
We're in the 5th of 8 ends here, if scores are tied. And it's been a pretty tight game so far. If scores are tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra end. A full extra end. I know some competitions have experimented with either kind of a half extra end, so just 4 stones each, or
That's heavy.
if scores are tied after 8 ends, you get 1 chance each to draw the pin.
C'est un peu large. Plutôt Sven.
Ziemlich large.
But here, if scores are
Niet te
tied,
bus,
we will
Sven.
play an extra end. But first things
14
first.
6. Ah, c'est large. On veut ja, mais mun
It
fin.
is Yannick Schwaller.
Ja.
Schwaller,
Net
sorry.
curseur. Net curseur sur
Cut,
cette
cut,
première.
cut.
Go, 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 go,
little red stone into that
Henri,
nest.
Henri.
And that's a very nice throw from him. Really cutting down the area that Hoesli can use to score. At the moment, covering the pin. So to score anything, he needs to do something about that red right in front of the other two. So yellow onto red. Let's be aligned on exactly which angle you need. That's the view from the hack. As we said, that yellow not quite landing where they wanted it with Marco Hösli's first throw, but a dangerous yellow nevertheless. Similar weight from Marco Hösli. Big throw. He wants to just catch the outside of yellow. Simon Glure making sure it holds that red, the straight line.
Excuse me.
So that's certainly cleared up the forefoot a bit.
Second.
Ja, for second.
Super. Klar, hè?
Yep.
But still advantage Schwaller for me in this 5th end.
Ja.
Hoesli having to be a little bit responsive,
15 minimum.
not so proactive. It's really Schwaller kind of
Genau die
bossing the
gleiche
end,
Linie wie ich eigentlich.
C'est bien.
forcing Hoesli to do a bit of clean up. And I think we're going to see a similar dynamic coming now. We've seen Benoit Schwarz play exactly this stone twice in a row in the third end.
Alles gut.
And this is good play from Schwaller, just keeping pressure on Hösli.
Regardez bien.
Es ist weiter auswendig. Es ist ein bisschen weiter auswendig. So, der Wesen ist. Pfister Dolly, wir müssen aufs Pfister Dolly, ha? Okay,
And the sweepers have judged that beautifully. That is exactly where they wanted it,
Baby tap, nein, ist gut.
making the clockwise handle quite difficult.
Gutes Block. I like it.
Interesting end this fifth end. We saw Marco Hoesli kind of switch up the strategy a little bit. Instead of throwing corner guards, keeping the first couple stones away from centre, he decided to play towards centre, which is absolutely a fair strategy, but it is higher risk. And is that risk not quite paying off for them in this fifth end?
Nog een pad mee, game.
First throw of the fifth end for Philip Hoesli, younger brother of Marco. They used to throw the other way round. Marco's always been skip. They used to throw the other way round. Marco fourth and Philip third. Marco had a shoulder injury a few seasons ago, and it was Philip throwing fourth for a while, and they've kind of stuck with that. Definitely working for them.
So, free Stil, oder?
Aha. Ja, aber. Kurz nicht für 3, aber ja. Ja, wahrscheinlich schon.
Was ist für 3?
On its own then, a nice throw from Philip Hoesli, but if we think of our overall objective here, Hoesli has last stone, yellow wants to score 2.
Ja, ich habe ein bisschen Angst, dass er dann irgendetwas macht. weißt du?
Not easy from here.
Also, hat er nicht etwas für 3, doppelt. Ah, das ist ganz versteckt.
Das, also, ich sehe irgendwie ein Sechstel oder so von dem.
Er sieht nicht.
You can see if Benoit Schwarz just follows that
Ja,
throw,
aber dann müssen wir ein bisschen
just
schauen,
played by
wegen
Philip Hoesli.
Dann können wir wirklich, ja, Tab 2 Shots ein, ja, das ist schon eine Option, ja.
Just like that, as Yannick Schwaller's
Nein,
indicating.
also das machen wir. Ein Backhand
Again, he doesn't really need to do anything with the yellow, he just needs to nudge up against it.
Schön ruhig
Very
entscheiden.
difficult for yellow to score 2, and that will be objectives met for Team Schwaller.
Ich bin noch, ich will glaube ich Backhand spielen. 2 liegen. Nose. Das ist mega schwierig nachher.
Ja, ja.
Wenn du Nose bist, das geht
I agree with Megan in the chat, at least it doesn't look like a
Das ist
blank.
sowieso
No?
nur ein Halbvorgehen, ja.
Although,
Gut, ja.
Backhand Nose?
Ja.
Willst du es
I've
schlechter
seen
machen?
Niklas Edin move
Ja, wenn es
7
geht, ja.
stones with his final 2
Gut,
throws,
Backhand out.
Ja.
Das ist 13.
but I don't think
Ja.
that's what
Ja,
we'll
ja,
see
das
here,
ist so,
no.
ja.
Es ist gut kontrollierbar hier, gut, das Land.
Ja. Il a beaucoup curlé, je trouve. Il est beaucoup revenu. Ja.
Final throw of the fifth end for the Swiss champions. And we see Benoit Schwarz following the line. They've just seen from Philip Hoesli.
Attention.
Achtung!
A picture of concentration on the face of Yannick Schwaller.
Oh! Gun!
Okay, go.
Gun! Gun!
Everybody.
Good throw from Benoit Schwarz.
Ja, richtig.
This is why playing to the centre is a risk.
Ist egal, also wenn sowieso das spielt, oder?
Ich glaube,
If you get a shot wrong, you can find the centre being locked up and not much space for you to score anything, never mind 2. So be careful using that strategy at the club. You don't have Benny Schwartz or Philip Hösli to get you out of trouble, and you can end up in quite a mess. So Philip Hösli to score 1 in this 5th end. I don't think there's a shot to score 2, and yeah, this coming in at a quiet weight. Needs to hit and stick. The sweeper's being really careful with it. That's clearly 1 yellow, but that's objective met for Schwaller. They don't mind giving away 1 point, because that means that although the score is now Hösli 3, Schwaller 2, it means that Yannick Schwaller's team, they now have last stone advantage in the 6th end. So you can see the sweepers taking real good care of that stone, make sure it hits exactly right. Didn't have a lot of space to move around, they really had to get it on the nose. So the team is just saying, okay, what do we need to do in the 6th end? What's our target for this end here? And now we shall start seeing potentially the tactics evolving. We may see Marco Hösli trying to force Yannick Schwaller to score, because we're getting towards the conclusion of the game. We play 8 ends, we're in end 6. So we may see tactics evolving a little bit. Both teams will be thinking from here. They will be thinking to the end of the game now in terms of, okay, if we have last stone here, and if we score 2, then if they score 1, then if we score 2, both teams will be planning their best path to the win. That will inform their objectives for the end.
Okay, come on. No, you got her.
Your strategy can be a little more flexible earlier on in the game. As we see, if you lose a 2 early on in the end 2, you have a lot of time to make it up. Now, Pablo really spun that stone. Does that mean it maybe went over a little piece of fluff, it looks like? So he did well to do something with that stone. Well done, sir. But clearly feeling that the stone just went over maybe a little piece of ice or a little piece of fluff. Well done, sir. Managing to get exactly what he wanted nevertheless. But tactics evolving now. We're in the 6th end out of 8. If you're going to lose a score of 2 or even 3, now is not the time. Do that early in the game when you still have plenty of ends to get points back. But from here, you are running out of ends to make a big score. And lovely setup, as always, from Justin Halser. He was doing this all morning, just splitting that centre line. Both of those stones protected by no tick rule as well as free guard zone. You could nudge it a bit further up on the centre line, but it can't come off the centre line. And there is no advantage to moving it around on the centre line, so it's going to stay there.
Ich bin nicht mehr so schnell.
Ein bisschen auf den Karpfen. Muss Karpfen.
12.
Schau mal Karpfen.
Ist gut, Lengi. 12.
We have our courageous young ladies from Baden Club here, 2 junior curlers operating the active cam. Thank you, ladies. super job in the semi-final, and again here.
Wir sind nicht übertrieben Finish da. Hast du von mir einen gesehen mal? Ich kann gut sagen, spielen mit dem Gas.
Marco Hösli then never taking his eyes off the stone. And Simon Glure chasing that stone, just thrown from Pablo. A call of clean, always a happy sound. That means that the stone is going exactly the way you want it to. Oh boy, that is a great shot from Simon Glure. Oh, unlucky, the stone just spun itself out a little bit, but great shot nevertheless from Simon Glure. And either way, Yannick Schwaller just ignoring it. He wants the middle cleared up. He does not want to let Marco Hoesli dictate this end. Doesn't want to let Hoesli force him to score anything. But just the one guard for Sven Michael. Marco Hoesli then still has a centre guard out front, still has a stone in the forefoot. If you want to learn more about Team Hoesli, we have a fun little quiz question on Instagram featuring the Swiss Vice Champions. Have a look on Instagram, Baden Masters, all one word, all lowercase, Baden Masters. And go and find out which actor would play each of the players if we were making a film about Team Hoesli.
Vier. Heel goed. Vier. Jongens. Vleegli heavy. 8. Die lijn. Vier. Nee, lenge goed.
Ouais, on n'a pas trop le monster setup là, mais.
So Marco Hoesli calling for a stone just to top of forefoot. Just like that. Again, splitting that centre line. And at the moment, Schwaller now having to be responsive. They played a really excellent fifth end, Schwaller's team. Forcing Marco Hoesli to score 1 point. But it is Hoesli forcing the issue in the sixth end at the moment. Woo! 1, 2, 3. Did he spring the whole lot? So massive throw from Sven Michael. Before and after. So that yellow just hanging on, but still a fabulous shot from Sven Michael. I don't think that yellow will be very important at the conclusion of the end.
Linie gut. Linie ist gut. Nur Länge. Hey, ich kann bis vorne button. Bis vorne button. Hey, lieber dran. Vorher ist ein bisschen runtergekommen.
Again, no, the Hoeslis mustn't let that kind of spectacular shot from Sven go in their head. That's just what he does. And they need to stick to their task, stick to attacking the centre. That's what will cause Schwaller the most problems in this sixth end.
So, ist der Freeze.
Good, let's go.
An den 4.2 kalkulieren drauf. Ja.
Ok, juste à vous. Bouton.
That's John
Push
from
on.
Marco Hösli.
Bravo,
Just
Lydia.
slipping
On a un peu de
beyond
large.
T-line, so
On a un peu de
Yannick
place.
reckoning, okay. You can potentially chase
Pablo,
that
maintenant,
in.
tu peux couper aussi. Hein. 14-7, hein. Il était 14-2 lui. Hein. Amenez-la.
Pretty
pour la
much
vitesse
like
aussi.
this.
La vitesse est parfaite. La ligne est parfaite. Bien joué.
Very nice. But the risk with that is if you put a stone exactly where Philip Hösli is indicating, scoring area for Yannick Schwaller is now closed.
Und jetzt 14-9 kann unserer 14-2.
Très joli.
But still pressure on this throw from Marco Hösli. Just wants to play exactly the same shot we just saw from Yannick Schwaller.
Weiter wie du. Ja, weiß nicht, wie so schnell ist, aber ein bisschen weiter wie du. Ja, aber du kannst viel mehr, oder? Ja, ist nicht so schnell.
Achtung, 10,
14
straight, curl, curl,
Doch,
curl,
ja.
curl,
Lock
curl, curl,
sogar.
curl, 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 hard, hard, hard. Okay, quick out.
That is pretty nice from Marco Hösli.
Sorry. Run. Jo.
And as you can see,
Wat schön.
red covering the pin. That's currently scoring 1 point.
Great.
But if you're red, how do you get a second point from here? Not so easy. That is the risk with playing towards the centre.
Wir müssen inside freeze sein.
Also
gell?
10 auf die Nase, er ist Shot.
Also 10 genau Nase ist ein Shot, ja, aber wir sind mal viel Druck nachher, nicht?
Also, ja, er spielt Guard, oder?
Ja, aber es ist 3. Nicht ein normaler Mann. Nein.
Nein, aber ich meine...
Also, ja, wir müssen aber den Throw auf die Inside bringen hier.
Ja, oder no, das ist schon mal gut, aber...
Das ist
We're
nicht.
more familiar though with this tactic from the mixed doubles discipline. You start with placed stones in mixed doubles, one stone as a centre guard, one stone just behind T-line.
Und der Rest ist alles Bonus.
So you see this kind of setup
Aber
a
so
lot
hast du-
in
ja.
mixed doubles.
Wenn ihr das hört, ja, ist gut.
Klar,
And
nachher
typically
kann
you
er
see
das spielen.
teams
Aber dann
aiming towards the centre,
Nein, also ich kann nicht das spielen, sonst haben wir einen Run verdreht.
just building up 2 or 3 stones in front of T and then
Du bist
throwing
14
a big
ja,
weight
14-3.
to activate the angles and leave you lying a couple of points.
Ja, ja,
So Schwaller knows that he's not scoring 2 points with the stone. He just wants to set up some angles, give Bemar Schwarz a chance to finish it off with last stone.
Ok, ligne bien.
aber schneller.
Bis c'est 4, c'est bien. Toujours
Moment,
Sven.
Geitzel.
Toujours Sven, un moment.
Ja.
Ok, maintenant on est un peu large. Coupe, coupe, coupe. Là, curl. Allez Pablo.
Urgent shout
Encore,
of
encore, pousse,
Carl
pousse, pousse, pousse.
from Bemar Schwarz.
Pousse. Gar nicht so schlecht. Finde ich gut.
Okay, so yep, that's pretty much what they said they were going to do. not unusually, this sixth end really starting to drag a bit. But as I said, that's because we don't have many ends left, and now is not the time to get either your decision making or your play wrong.
Ich finde sogar das Haar innen treffen ist okay. Welches ist gut?
Ja, müssen wir das schon machen.
Ist jetzt 15-2, das ist schon ein bisschen schneller geworden.
Geht nicht. Das ist viel länger. Aha, mit dem Wandel.
Babybounce ist schön. Perfekt. Bert Weniger, was meinst du?
Ja, ich glaube, nachdem es ist schon viel schneller gelaufen. Langsamer wieder.
That exact situation at the moment suits Marco Hoesli very well. His objective for this end, similar, but evolving. He doesn't want to let Yannick Schwaller score 2. And currently, by attacking the centre, he's making Schwaller's life as difficult as possible to try to score 2 points from here.
Was sie machen, ist, sie wissen nicht die erste Hälfte, wir wissen die zweite. Wir sind immer am Anfang dran, da haben wir weniger gehört.
Das ist aber auch ein anderer Dienst. Ganz anderer Dienst.
That's a nice throw from Philip Hoesli.
Ja, jetzt müssen wir das bewegen.
Ja, aber wie? Also,
So this looking exactly like an end of mixed doubles. A whole bunch of stones ahead of tee,
aber der können wir am Schluss gar nicht scoren.
just switching up the angles.
Ja, sind auch schon. Ja, also.
And everybody having a look at this now.
Eine für den Rundschaftspreis. Und das wegschieben. Oder.
David, I am playing in the mixed doubles actually.
Oder Verteidiger. Hm? Ja, ja.
Ich bin überhaupt nicht sicher, dass wir jetzt dort sind.
Schon.
Für mich sieht es nach innen aus.
Teammate Nigel and I
Das nicht, aber.
will be throwing our
Da brauchen wir einen
curling
Kollektion
shoes
bei.
into the ring
So
again.
sieht es nach uns aus.
Gut, für die Bäche aus. Ja, ist im Lenker. Das ist okay.
Also da geht. Ich will ja hier Guard spielen drauf. Ich glaube nicht, dass wir hier 2 machen.
Well, I did say this can
Also 2
happen
musst du das bewegen.
when you
und
play
dann-
towards the centre,
macht eine halbe Fälle und wir einen Run für 2. Aber ja.
is that you can just end up making
Ja, wir
kind of a
müssen
big
das
mess for
Die
yourself.
Seite können bekommen, oder mindestens auf die Nase.
Ja, ich weiß.
Das
Also,
ist ziemlich schwierig. Ja?
ja, absolut. Oder du bringst den rein. Eine Option. Eine Option.
Ja, aber das muss, ja. Dann könnt ihr da oder
Gosh,
drauf.
I'm not even sure
Aber ich weiß nicht, was es
which
bringt.
stone is
Genau,
shot at the moment.
Da bringen wir nicht
And
weg.
the little hole right in the middle.
Ich habe
There
verteidigt,
we
ja.
are, that's the overhead.
So,
Ja.
The little hole, not very
Yeah,
clear.
Okay.
And all of that confusion favours Marco Hoesli's team.
Feuer. Höher.
Benoit Schwartz then for
Overstrike.
the sixth end. He has
Give
2
the clock.
stones to sort this mess out.
Also so höher wie.
Curl. Curl. Oh.
Well, that has certainly closed up the anti-clockwise handle, and now everybody having a look to see if they can decide which stone is in fact closer.
Ich überlege mir, ob der interne Tab da ist. Da rundum. Das probieren. Das ist immer noch da. Ja. Das einfach
There is a kind of triangulation sort of device
Zweimal legen auch nicht.
if the hole is covered, which you would also see used for a last stone draw. The teams have become so accurate at last stone draw
Du probierst es und es ist, wir sind schon.
that it's not unusual to cover the hole.
Also es ist eigentlich ein Draw da vorne.
So there is a triangulation point that we can use if needed.
Nee. Ja, dat is niet goed. Nee, dat is niet.
Ja. Also ich glaube, das ist mega da. Das ist ohne Problem da.
So nothing to be done on the anti-clockwise handle. That now pretty much closed. And what if you just try to close up the clockwise handle there? Yeah, really, no way through. Force Benny Schwarz into a Hail Mary shot.
Ja, ich habe das Gefühl, es ist schon genug Eis eigentlich, oder?
Paper.
Ich bin schon verschiedene gesehen, die haben gekommen.
Ja, absolut.
Two stones to come in the sixth end of 8 at the final of the BADEN Masters 2025. In the hack is Philip Hösli. Benoit Schwarz will have his final stone after this. So Philip just trying to make it as difficult as possible for Schwarz to get them out of trouble here. Oh, and that one they did misjudge. I was about to say, oh gosh, that's another one where Marco's more courageous than I am. That looked like it was sailing very close to the guard, and in fact it did touch the guard, but it's found a decent spot nevertheless.
Also hier zit definitief rood.
Dat ben first for them, go.
There is no way through the Great Wall of Hoesli.
Dat werd er daar voor
I
2.
think Schwarz is going to have to
Ja, dat is klaar, ja.
Und das Risiko
do
ist
some kind of raise.
nicht so hoch.
Also Risiko ist schon rood.
Und dann kannst du den gar nicht berühren mit Dickhalb.
Ja, du kannst nicht zwei
Dickhalb kannst du. Dickhalb kommst du nicht an.
Ich sehe keinen. Götzig Kolo.
Also das ist da.
Ja, es ist
Das
definitiv
ist
da.
da. Komm schon schauen. Also wenn
Who's going to blink first in this
können
final?
wir
Nothing to
es
separate these two
nicht
teams at the
probieren
moment.
oder so und es ist nicht viel Risiko da, weil das kommt da immer drauf. Das kann passieren, ja. So Streifen und nachher hier dran.
Es geht sicher, dass ich den rot nehmen, aber ich will das probieren.
Also, wenn du sagst, Max Dickhalb, dann kannst du hier nicht berühren, das ist unmöglich.
Soll ich 8 oder was?
Ich habe das 9 gespielt.
Okay. Wenn
Do you
ihr wenn,
think Viewer
ich
can
spiele.
even see a shot?
Schau,
For
Bruno,
raise
Also wenn
here?
wir Shot sind, ja,
ich glaube, wir sind Shot, aber ich meine, das ist für 2.
dann haben wir each, schon gut.
Bruno, schau vom Heck an.
Ja.
Wenn du auch das Gefühl hast, man kann nur Dickhalbe bereichen, dann können wir es ohne Problem probieren, weil es kann gar
Ja,
nicht
wer
passieren.
I'm not sure there is a shot that doesn't just disturb the red just behind the pin, if anything.
Halb, also wenn ich überkörle auf der Guard, ich treffe mehr als halb, ja. Paper ist mehr als halb, sicher.
Okay, probieren wir. 9.
Gut. Okay. Was muss ich genau treffen?
Du müsstest dünn 2 Drittel.
Dünn 2 Drittel.
60%. Ja, 60%, ja.
Okay. Ja, es ist gut. 9.
Benoit Schwarz been getting teams out of trouble for about 10 years now. What can he do
Close. Oui.
at end 6 of the BADEN Masters final?
Oui.
Allez!
Oui. Wow, wow.
He's made contact with the yellow. Well, we shall soon find out which of those stones is closer to the pin. Do we need the reverse triangulation device?
Umpire.
Wir können Double Measure machen im Fall.
Yeah, I'm not sure more heads is necessarily going to help you
Double
here,
Measure
boys.
funktioniert.
Es ist schon.
Kannst du Double Measure machen?
Well, maybe if we stay at it
beide.
long enough. it will make itself obvious.
Also jetzt stehe ich recht über euch. Und
Laut
dann habe
Regel
ich immer noch
ist
das Gefühl, es ist rot.
Yes, here comes the tournament official.
Oder wie? Bei Augenmaß.
Also ich gucke jetzt drauf, entscheide. Dann könnt ihr auch nochmal sagen, ob es gut ist oder nicht gut ist. Wenn ihr euch nicht einigen könnt, kommt nochmal der Thomas, der weiß nicht, was ich entschieden habe. Und er ist die endgültige Entscheidung. Wenn er dann sagt, das ist so oder so, dann müsst ihr das an. Das wäre...
I can't hear what's being said. They may not have the sort of reverse triangulation device, but they should do for last stone draw. I've certainly seen it happen that
True?
I've seen it happen that if you genuinely cannot decide,
Ja.
this can actually go as a blank end. So yeah, he's
Du musst ihm nicht sagen, was du...
calling for a second opinion. I'm not sure the human eye is what we need here, gang. I think we need the kind of the two measurements to triangulate how far it is from the hole. I think this is really too important to leave it to someone's opinion. No, are we going to get
Ja, haben wir keine Wahl, oder?
a third opinion on it, or are we going to call it a blank? Well, that's a good idea, Tom. Get every person in the rink to have a vote.
Also es ist...
Or what about every person on the chat?
Government
We're the ones with the overhead view.
Ja, ja.
Also das ist absolut klar.
What do you think? Put a red
Also
circle
damit
or a
es gelb
yellow
ist, musst du
circle in the
wirklich
chat?
von der Seite schauen.
Ja, ja. Komm mal von da schauen.
Also gelb musst
Also glaubst du, wenn du von da stehst oder Brunner ist, ist es immer noch
also
rot?
hier ist gelb. Hier.
If I had to see from this angle, I'd probably go yellow, but I don't know if that's just because I have a soft spot for Team Hoesli,
Du sagst,
or Clock suggests an arm wrestle for the point. If nobody can decide, it will be a blank.
He's up.
The spectators biting their nails a bit. Well, either it was one yellow or they called it a blank. I think more likely a blank. It looked like really nobody could decide, in which case no points to anyone. Either way, it is Justin Hauser ready to set off. So either it was one yellow or it was blank. Oh, Marco, put the score up for us. Oh, for crying out loud.
Strong finish.
Well, it shall remain a mystery for another 30 seconds at least. Ooh, the folks in the chat thinking it's red. Well, it wasn't, is your quick answer. As I said, either it was a blank or a yellow. It was a blank, so I think we were close to having everyone here in the club room go and take a vote on it, but that's the sportsmanlike thing to do. Really, nobody can decide. So that's a fun one to tell your friends about, gang, is that time there was a blank end when about 12 stones were somehow in play.
Es muss rein, hä?
Carol, Mike, Fishy, Tom, all, if they had to go one way or the other, they were all favouring red there. But neither of the teams, neither of the competition officials able to tell. And Pablo Lachat, Cruzpan, not happy with that one at all.
Yeah.
I think he was aiming to get in behind that yellow, and yeah, that's dropped a long way short. he was maybe just caught out, Pablo, with all that looking. That took 2 or 3 minutes, maybe longer even.
Oh, ja, kein
And the ice just sitting for 2 or 3 minutes with no stones coming across, and that can just make a small but important difference to the ice if we haven't played a stone on it for 2 or 3 minutes.
Aber das geht. Das wird immer gehen, wenn du musst.
So Kyle, that was a blank, yes. I've seen that happen once before, where a measure is so genuinely close. And of course this was just everyone looking at it because both stones were all but touching the pin. When a measure is genuinely that close, if you truly cannot separate the stones, it's a blank. Or you don't count those stones. If you were measuring for 2, you would count neither of them, and that would have been a 1. But yeah, if you cannot separate the stones, you count it as 0.
Aber immer noch voll vor. Kijk, niet curven. Als een carp. Zeer goed. 14-3.
That's a better effort from Pablo Lachat. We saw, though, this getting them into quite a pickle in the 6th end, playing towards the centre, Yannick Schwaller. But it looks like he's maybe a little bit wary of letting Marco Hösli control the centre with the first 3 stones. Oh, thanks, Mario. It's not allowed to measure with the device.
No, it's not first.
I did not know that. I mean, obviously you're allowed to measure with the measuring device, if you can use it properly. But apparently you're not allowed to measure with the triangulation device in that sort of circumstance.
Das tun wir amigs geben auf Center, da brauchen wir schon fast herzuschauen.
That end then really a microcosm of the game, nothing to separate between these 2 teams.
Linie gut. Sehr nach. Ist ein Floater im Moment. Immer Girl, immer Girl, immer Girl.
Länge ist super. Zieh rein. Back team. Lass mich bis vor du watch. Nein, nein.
Go, 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 go. Sehr gut.
And that was a courageous call from Yannick and a lovely throw from Sven Michael. But the immediate danger is still on the centre. Sven allowing himself a little half smile. Very nice throw from him. But we are really running out of ends now. This is the 7th end out of 8. Marco Hoesli is 3-2 ahead of Yannick Schwaller. What are our objectives in the 7th end? Well, at this stage, you will also be thinking about the 8th end. And actually, another blank, however we get there. That's fine for Yannick Schwaller. And that's why you saw Marco Hoesli put up a couple of guards to try to stop Yannick Schwaller fashioning a blank end. That's nice from Simon Kluwer. Doesn't need to get that red out of play, but he has put it behind the T-line. Out of the 4-foot. Nice result from him. So yeah, ideal for Schwaller would be a blank here. That means he would be -1 point. But he would have last stone in the 8th end. So that's what Marco Hoesli wants to avoid. That's why we saw Marco Hoesli start with the aggressive guards. Try to force the issue. From Marco Hoesli's perspective, 1 red
die
we
mehr
would
als
level
das.
the score at 3
Im
each,
Moment ist Zielline.
Diese 4.
and we would have a one-end shootout,
Zielline.
and Hösli has last stone, so
Zo, de baas is.
that would be
Dus,
their preferred way to win the game from here.
te bien. That's right.
So that's what we will see the teams going for. We will see Marco trying to force the issue, giving up one red. That's fine for him.
Gut dort im Fall.
Even stealing a yellow, that would make the score 4-2, but that would leave Yannick Schwaller needing to score 2 just to get to an extra end. So that's not a bad result either. And with those two options in mind, this is exactly right, that we see Marco Hösli continuing to attack this centre. You know, even giving up 2 reds at the moment is not the end of the world. That means it would be Hösli -1 with last stone in the 8th end. So really just keeping control of this centred area ahead of T.
Ich glaube, das haben sie beide
That is exactly what Team Hösli needs. And they need a bit of curl here.
Ja,
It's just about made connection,
12, 12,5.
but some reds starting to pile up over there.
Wir haben 2 Mal gespielt, vor 2
Ja, aber jetzt ist, das hat sich nichts erholt. Kaum Simon seine vorhin hat auch nicht viel gehört.
Sehr gut.
Oh, thanks Jenny and Mario in the chat for explaining
12,5.
the situation in N6 there. So if the teams can't decide, they call the umpire. If the umpire can't decide, they call the chief umpire. And if neither umpire can decide, it is a blank, as we saw. So I was going to say, this doesn't look like a blank, but N6 didn't look like a blank until it did.
Clean. Clean. Attention, Pablo. Oui. Wow. Oui. Pablo. Good. Good. Encore. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yannick Schwaller looking for a little roll. He's done that beautifully.
Super. Zullen ze staan, ja.
This game absolutely poised here.
Ja, ja. Sehr gut.
Ja, sehr gut, ja.
Remember what we said, 1 red actually suits Marco Hösli. That would level scores and give him last stone. Even 2 red, not the end of the world. He would be 1 behind, but with last stone. Stealing 1 yellow, again, not the end of the world. He would be 2 ahead without last stone. But some reds starting to pile up a bit there. We need to stop the flow of reds into that little pocket. The call is to just nudge up against that front red and just move the red behind, and that's nice.
1, 2, nehmen wir noch.
Ja. Ja. Oder een beetje hoger.
Da.
That's the situation.
2.
2 Mal.
It is still
good.
red line 2, but
Ja, ja.
now we have a dangerous yellow in front of it.
Versteck, wie viel
Da hat
versteckt?
er einen Freeze nachher zwar, weißt du?
Also wo, da, auf dem Rot.
Auf dem Rot, oder? Dass er da noch abhängt.
Und darum willst du...
Aber da, das ist auch nicht gut, oder? Da tappt er da runter.
Also willst du ganz offen sein, oder willst du ein bisschen
Ich
versteckt
hätte
sein?
auch hier, ein bisschen versteckt.
So viel? Ja.
Nein, das ist nicht gut, sonst macht er
David
das
in the
so.
chat, nope, there is not
Ja,
a
und er
third,
kann
fourth
auch
playoff.
das direkt...
I think maybe in the
ich glaube, das
past
ist-
we
Oh
have
Gott,
had that,
hätten
but
wir nicht, oder nicht?
it's really a game too far for
Ich
the other
meine, er wird
semi-finalists.
spielen,
Ja,
glaube
aber hier geht.
ich. So hoch. Ich habe das Gefühl, das ist eher für euch. Kannst du brauchen.
Schau mal, wenn wir ein bisschen zu nahe sind.
Also wenn du drüber bist,
Er hat ja hier schon Möglichkeiten nachher mit dem... Da drin.
Our two
Aber ich würde nicht
semi-finalists from
wirklich
this morning, though, they
Ihr
do
spielt
take
mehr
home
braucht der für den Run.
prize money of 4,500 Swiss francs.
Spielt eine Bombe da rein.
Nein, wenn wir
That
hier
helps with the
sind und
disappointment.
Edge to Edge sind, dann spielt er da rein, oder? So. Das ist für ihn mega schön.
And not that they will be thinking about it, but
Wir müssen da, wir
the
müssen
runner-up
hoch
of this game, they will take
Ja,
home
aber
8,000
das
Swiss
ist
francs, and the winner will take
Ja.
home a check
Okay.
for 12,000 Swiss francs.
Freeze muss er auch zuerst mal machen, aber noch dort. Also wenn wir nachgehen, dann so einfach, dass man ihn nicht kann runnen, aber nachher, wenn er
Okay,
flasht, ist
nur
auch nicht gut.
kurze Frage. Dann, wenn wir hier spielen, der spielt der Run.
Ja.
Meinst du, er spielt der Run?
Also dann liegt er sehr gut nachher, wenn er ihn hat.
Findest du auch?
Ja, also da liegt er fast nicht ab. So bis hier schon. Das kann ja niemand weiter.
Okay, also go. Hoch. So viel ist?
Also, die Frage ist, ob man ein klein weißt, so dass er nicht kann. Wenn man einen Viertel ja drunter tun.
Ja.
Auf den Punkt. Genau.
Long discussion then. You're already lying to, if you're red.
Nein. Auf welchem Punkt willst du? Auf dem 2, oder? Ja.
Do we just want to
Also er wird auch selber noch nicht.
try to block that situation? I think it's a little early to do that. We've still got 5 stones to come.
Okay,
Schwaller
er,
doesn't want,
Platz.
as we said, is
Does
to
it
only score
then?
1. That would be not what he wants.
Wir sind noch nicht versteckt. Ich muss schauen. Curl. Tu peux un peu curler. Wow.
Wir können den roten ein bisschen verstecken.
Curl. Curl. Ok, c'est bien, c'est bien.
Das ist sehr gut, ja.
And that is roughly what he's chosen to do, Schwaller. Saying, okay, well, I'm already lying to. I don't really want to give the Hoeslis a chance to make it only 1 red. And definitely quite a mess out front there. Not easy for Hoesli to do anything about this situation.
Ja, wenn wir Gonfis haben, dann ist es dann nicht. Ja. Aber hätte das früher auch schon gemacht.
Well, the N7 taking as long as the previous 6 ends combined.
Gute Nacht.
But really critical as we've been discussing the various possibilities. How that would affect the overall score. How that would favour one team over the other potentially in an 8th end.
Sorry? Ja, ja. Nee. Jag vill lägga det på den här. Helt end upp.
We are finally at 4th stones, end 7 of the final here at the BADEN Masters 2025. We will have new champions either way. First visit to the semis and the final for Marco Hösli's team. 3 of Yannick Schwaller's team have won this competition before, but not this current lineup. Oh, what an effort from Philip Hoesli.
Yep. Yep.
It's not quite enough though,
So schauen, dass wir mit dem Shooter nicht gegeben haben.
and that was a 1 and done
Ich glaube, es ist klar,
Doch
oder?
haben wir auch
Stone
noch, aber ich glaube, es ist das Heft.
over there to try and use. Oh, what an effort though. A wry smile from Simon Glure.
Ich würde ihn gerne ziemlich gut auf Solid tappen, weil wenn er hier den Straight Free spielt, hängt er den schon ab.
Wir müssen,
Ja,
ja.
dass wir 2 machen, würde ich gerne so einen 5 brechen und hier auf die Dolly.
Ist Mitte 12 genug?
In der Nacht.
That's the situation. Red light 2.
Für
Ach,
eher
reaktiv.
zu viel finde ich fast schon.
Schon fast zu viel, okay.
Ja.
Gut.
That's really the kind of minimum outcome for
Oh,
Yannick
yeah,
Schwaller.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does not
Yeah.
want to score
Gut.
only one
Back
red.
8, ist gut.
Ja.
Doesn't look like a blank, but as we said, that stranger things have happened. For example, in N6. But yeah, Yannick Schwaller does not want to score only one red, so he's pretty nicely set up at the moment.
Wahrscheinlich schon ein
3 stones to come. It looks like the call is to just touch the edge of
Toujours pas bleu. Oui.
the red on the outside of the pile there. And just touch it in towards the 4 foot a little more.
Ja.
Straight!
It's pretty good.
Shooter runter. Pablo, shooter back.
Oh wow. That's a great shot.
Das ist schon edge, glaube ich. Ja, weiß nicht.
Sehr gut. Ist wirklich sehr gut.
Yeah, a score of 3 would be very nice for Yannick Schwaller. They would give up last stone, but they would be 2 points ahead, and what a courageous call, played and executed perfectly by Benoit Schwarz.
Ist er 4? Ja, so. 4, ich weiß nicht. 4. Boah, am Schluss haben wir fast halb getroffen, oder fast. Ich weiß nicht wie viel, aber.
Ja, genau.
Aber das ist schon gut damit.
Now what? It's now red line 3.
Schon gut. Aber eigentlich
Is there a way to promote a yellow or remove a red? And that's good to hear, Daniel, in the chat. He went for a taster session at the Flower Bowl near Preston in the north of England. And going to sign up for Learn to Curl at the Tunbridge rink down in the south of England. That's great.
so die noch. Ich glaube, er hat gar nichts mit ihm noch. Ja, ja, ich glaube auch. Und eine wegnehmen eigentlich. Ja, kann er mehr als eine wegnehmen? Ah,
Huge throw coming up for Philip Hoesli. Even if he can get this down to 2 reds, he's done a good job here.
Boah, das ist sowieso sorry.
But hats off to Yannick Schwaller's team. They took a risk playing towards the centre that almost backfired for them in the 6th end. But they took the risk here in the 7th, and currently that risk paying off.
Wie viel kann er wegnehmen?
Final throw of the 7th end for Philip Hoesli. If he can get this down to 2 reds, he'll be happy. Yellow onto yellow, onto yellow, onto reds. Take a bow, Philip Hoesli. Goodness me. What a shot
Also ich muss fast
from the younger Hoesli brother.
Und das ist für 3.
Goodness me. I thought that was all closed up, but
Jam.
watch this. Yellow to yellow to yellow. Springs the whole lot and leaves himself lying short. What a throw from Philip Hoesli.
11 bis. Ich glaube nicht, weil es ist jetzt
Goodness
noch nicht,
me. Yeah, everyone just sort of standing back in rank amazement at that. Look at that. Whew.
Oder Nose, sind wir uns einig, der geht hier drauf und stickt nachher hier. Je nachdem geht er vielleicht zwischendurch runter.
Vielleicht kannst du, ja.
Goodness me. Well,
Im Winkel ist
Ich frage mich, ob mehr Whyte nicht besser ist, damit er sicher hier
Causing
ein bisschen
uproar
abgecheckt nachher, damit wir
here in the
da-
club.
damit wir da bleiben.
What a shot from Philip Hösli. But let's all calm down. Is there a way for Yannick Schwaller to neutralise it? I feel like that would be a crying shame if there were.
Wie viel ist?
That is truly one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Ja, ja, ich sehe ja.
Es geht nicht anders.
10:30, 11, ja. Ist gut.
So.
So viel, ja. Ich glaube, da, Girls.
Much love for Philip Hösli's throw
Ja, ja.
in the 7th end. Yeah, what a game changer that throw was. Wow.
Die sind ja auch da. Ja, ich kann...
Lynn
Nein, hallo.
appreciating that
Ich
one.
kann ein paar Zentimeter.
Sonakayo, Megan,
Es ist genau ins Milieu vom Loch.
Tom,
Gut. 11.
10:30, ja.
even Curling News appreciating that one. But say a prayer here. Because Benoit Schwartz can see all of that yellow out front. And it would be just like Benoit Schwartz to just spoil our fun. Ooh, now what? Definitely one, but it is only one red. Goodness me. I think that was one of the most emotional roller coasters of an end of curling I have ever seen. Tom asked earlier on this weekend, what's the most exciting game that I've been covering here at Baden? Well, this one is making an excellent case for itself, especially that 7th end. What an end.
Ja, ja, das ist ein bisschen wirklich schnell. So, Jungs.
And finally, after all that, it is a score of 1 red to Yannick Schwaller. As we said, that is not what Schwaller wanted. And they probably didn't see that coming. Look at that. A score of 1 red to Yannick Schwaller. It is scores level 3 each after 7 ends. It is a 1-end shootout. It is Marco Hoesli, the vice Swiss champions, who have last stone.
Ich mag's, aber ist gut.
Ja, ist sehr gut, oder? 2,5. Es ist gut.
Gehört ein peu trop, hein?
Ist
Haben wir noch eins vielleicht?
Eins.
Nein, ist mehr. Ist mittig. Okay, 3 ist... Er hat den Glaube auf den Center, ist gut. Du nicht zu viel, ist gut. Musst du curlen. Kannst du sogar curlen.
Gut.
17.
Quoi? Moi, je pense qu'elle avait encore quelque chose dessous. Tu l'as bien nettoyé celle-là?
Laquelle, la mienne là?
Elle vient de je crois qu'elle s'est un peu écrasée. Elle n'avait pas beaucoup de rotation, tu sais. Comme si elle s'écrasait. À cause du flat. J'ai l'impression que c'était celle qui a pris 2 pics là. Ouais, t'as de la place pour en mettre une deuxième, mais c'est pas facile. Ouais, quoi que je suis pas sûr que t'as de la place. Ja.
Ja, genau. Gegen das Dolly tappen. Ja.
Darf ich?
Hinten 4. Ja.
Okay.
Die Line hinten 4. Drück knapp. Linie. Hinten 4. Länge gut. Linie auch. Linie gut. Linkes Bruchli. Linie super. Curl. Curl. Curl.
Länge ist fast bounce.
Straight.
Ja, wir müssen overtee.
Excuse. Ja, die. Okay.
Okay, ist noch okay.
Well, golly. I just ran off to be sick with all the excitement. What an end of curling that was. But settle the nerves. Scores are level. It is the 8th end of the final at Baden Masters. What a final this has been.
Frag mich, ob wir hier neben dran. Eigentlich auf T-Line.
Robert in the chat saying this is World Finals worthy game. I fully agree with you. This has been just such a fun game to watch. Really top quality. Scores are level. It is a one-end shootout. It is Marco Hösli of Switzerland with last stone, the vice Swiss champions, and they are up against the current Swiss champions, Schwaller. If scores are still tied after 8 ends, if we have another one of those slightly unusual blank ends, which have loads of stones in them, we would play an extra end, but as I said, I've seen that once before in 40 years, so I doubt we will get a blank. Oh, Tom saying that he's enjoying watching this game so much, he'd just love to watch an extra end, to just keep seeing this quality. What a shot, Simon Gluer. Just clearing out the 4 foot, clearing out the middle, clearing out everything. Why is that such a good shot? Not only because it moved a whole bunch of stones around. Let's think ahead to last stones. It is level score, so objective is the same for both teams. We need to score 1 point. That's it. How do we do it? If you were Marco Hoesli, what do you want your brother Philip to be looking at with his last throw of the game? It's not a trick question. Philip Hoesli's ideal situation is nothing at all. He would like to be looking at no stones whatsoever and just find the paint. If you are Yannick Schwaller, what is your best path to try to score 1 point from here? It's exactly the reverse. You don't want Philip Hoesli to have a chance to have the final say. So you want to have a stone near the centre, at least in the 4 foot, with a big wall of stones out front. And that's why that was such a fine shot from Simon Gluer, doing an awful lot to remove the big wall of stones out front. The clearer the centre is, the better the situation for Marco Hoesli. The more complex the situation is, the more stones out front, the more it favours Schwaller. Megan, there is an award ceremony after this final. Yeah, normally it's quite low-key, to be honest. It's just all of us here in the club. We tend not to televise it, but we'll take some photos for Instagram to be sure.
So?
What a kickstart to this season. We've had some superb games. We've had extra ends. We've had surprise results. And we've had truly one of the best shots I have ever seen. That's exactly what they said they were going to play in the 7th end with Philip Hoesli's final throw. So difficult to get it right, but they did.
Ja, logisch, wenn du die Basen ist gut, ja.
Ja, ich glaube, also, weißt du, das ist das plus das, oder? Ja. Ohne Gelb.
Probieren wir auf die Basen, ist gut.
Also freeze, oder?
Yeah, strategy a little bit more complicated for Schwaller. Hösli's strategy very clear. Keep hitting stuff.
Ja.
keep trying to
Halb im Vier.
make space,
Also er hat
keep the
nicht
centre
so
clear.
gekillt, aber
That's it for
Mega
Schwaller.
Sehr gut. Oh, ja, schon mega swift.
Obviously,
ich die am
the more
20
complex it is, the more stones in play, the more it favours them. But how do you keep stones in play? That's what they'll be discussing.
Okay, aber vorne auch.
Jungs, der Körl!
Die Leute nicht.
Linie gut!
Also was spielen wir? Spielen wir Freeze? Okay, tu c'est bien. Amenez-la.
I'm going to talk to Chief
Charlie, hein.
Sticky actually and see if he can maybe do us
Okay,
a
maintenant
little
tu peux.
cut of that shot from the 7th
Whoa, whoa,
end
whoa,
that we can put on
straight,
Instagram
straight.
as well.
Ah, mais c'est juste un peu court.
That is a nice throw from Schwaller. Oh, he just
Also das ist mega plan.
touches
Oder?
the yellow that was already there, and that means I think the red's open. So Simon Gluer taking no chances, making sure the ice is always clean.
Okay.
Gosh, it is so tense up here. I can't imagine how tense it is on the ice. That's something you need to learn to deal with as well. These big games, not unusual at all that they're this close, that they go to the last stone of a last end. And you need to really control the nerves, control the emotions. But yeah, Marco Hösli, he can see at least some of that red. And as we said, Marco's best strategy is just keeping everything clear. Justin Hauser making sure he's always keeping that ice clean. We don't want a pickup or some bad luck now. And Simon just putting his back into it to get the curl once it's safely around the guard, and that's exactly what he said he was going to do for Marco Hoesli. The other option would have been to just remove that guard, force Yannick Schwaller to play the rest of the end in the house. As Maddie Games appreciating the good curling on offer, absolutely.
Hinne 4, juste à vous. Hinne 4, juste à vous.
Das ist schon schneller, Achtung!
Straight, toujours droit.
Curl, oder?
Curl maintenant, ouais. Curl. 4 pieds, par le couloir. 4 pieds. Très bien.
So same idea from Yannick. That one's found a better spot in terms of being behind the guard, but it is also behind T. Yeah, don't fancy removing the guard, boys. Okay.
Okay. Leave it off. Yeah, okay.
Scheißegal, ob wir offen sind.
Last throw of the BADEN Masters for Marco Hösli.
Kann man immer noch mit dir machen, eigentlich.
Ja.
He has skipped this team to some wonderful results this weekend, beating the European champions in the round robin, demolishing the European champions in the quarter-final, chasing the world champions Bruce Mouat's team off the ice this morning,
Das ist ja auch in Cola. So.
and going toe-to-toe with the Swiss champions out here.
Was ist da unten tappen?
Schau, der Kohl. Dann sind wir wahrscheinlich ziemlich offen.
Ist mir egal, ob wir offen sind.
Wenn wir das machen, das ist vielleicht los.
Uns ja, aber das ist hier hinter der Karte, hinter der Dolly. Wenn wir da einen Inside Freeze, oder? Dann muss er präzise sein mit dem letzten.
We have 4 stones to come. We're at 4th throwers.
Können wir irgendwie bis hier rollen?
Ja, das geht schon.
Ich fährst schon der Kohl, oder?
Selbst, ja.
Ich fährst schon der Kohl. Irgendwie, du chase immer. Wir schaffen es nicht irgendwie. Wir schaffen es.
Das Draw finde ich mega schwierig da an dem Ball.
Ja, wir haben aber bist perfekt.
Ich bin fast
So,
perfekt
big decision
gewesen,
here for Yannick. As we said,
er ist immer offen gewesen.
his best path to winning the game from here, he needs to have a
Oder
good
der
stone
zuerst
behind
Draw
cover
antappen.
Ja.
that Philip Hoesli either cannot remove or has to
Das
play
geht
better
schon, das ist
than.
halb offen auch, oder?
Ja, sicher, das geht. Was ist denn die erste
Tom asking
Hinten
who
oder?
I think will win
Beides
curling
geht
Olympic
offen.
gold in Milan.
Hinten
I don't want to curse anyone.
Jetzt do or die, oder?
I do, though, think it will be one of the medalists from last time. All three teams will be there again.
Oder?
Ja, er wird auch erst.
And I don't mean I think all three have an equal chance. I do think one of those three has a particularly good chance.
Wir müssen da nehmen. Also,
Ja, ja.
da ist noch nicht gut.
Nein, es muss overburied, ja. Ist gut?
Das ist die gerade
Yeah, I
Spur
really
hier,
don't
ja.
like that guard out front, boys. I think with
So.
Marco's first shot, I would probably have taken that off, force Yannick to play the rest of the end in the house. And then whatever he does, Philip Hoesli's life should be a bit easier, but too late for that now.
Das war mehr.
And Rashar's just trying to use that stone to get the angle in behind the guard.
Sorry.
Right, it's not going to roll enough. So Benny Schwartz then has one more stone only to sort this out.
Tempo ist gut, oder?
Philip
Nicht
Hoesli
sechs, aber
has 2.
ich meine, ich
Max.
warte so lange, gell, bis es mit Curl ist.
Ich mag es aber.
Ich muss mich einfach getrauen, Curl zu früher. Alles gut. Fällen 2 Steine eigentlich, wenn dann. Mehr nicht.
Nein, nein.
So that red fully open, that's not the problem. Full access to that red to punch it through. Important is where the yellow ends up afterwards. We are down to 4th throwers at the final here at the BADEN Masters 2025. Either way, we will have new champions. Will it be the reigning Swiss champions, Yannick Schwaller, or will it be the Swiss vice champions, Marco Hösli? We have 2 stones left to decide.
Ja. Springen wir schon, Jungs.
One stone for Yannick Schwaller's team in the form of Benny Schwartz. One stone for Marco Hösli's team in the form of his brother Philip. This is Benoit Schwartz's last say in this 8th end.
Die ist gut.
It's on its way.
Relax.
He wants to
Ich lach's. Ist
tuck
wirklich
a stone in
Okay.
behind the guard, beating both those yellows.
Jetzt.
The sweepers are standing off it a bit though. The sweepers are standing off it. Nobody going near it. It is going to stop in time. But he has not buried it the way he wanted to. Yeah, he definitely wanted that a little bit less weight so that it would grab the curl and get in behind that guard, behind that yellow. Philip Hoesli, you just need to make this stone go away. And the BADEN Masters is yours. That's it, always professional. Same as usual, just go down and throw it. Final throw of the Baden Masters from Philip Hoesli. This team had to get past the European champions, they had to get past the world champions, they had to get past the Swiss champions, and they are the Baden Masters champions 2025. What a performance from Marco Hösli's team. They said at lunchtime they felt like all the jigsaw pieces were finally put together. And yeah, stay on that shot, camera ladies. Look at that joy, so well deserved. What a performance from Marco Hösli's team. They've been knocking on the door for a while to be playing and winning these finals. And goodness me, they hung tough out there. Wonderful game. Thank you, Yannick Schwaller's team, for an extraordinary game. Really super fun for us here in the virtual club to watch, but they can't stop smiling. I'm not surprised. Everyone in the chat, lots of love for that game, lots of love for Hösli's team. Thoroughly deserved Baden Masters title. And Yannick Schwaller's team, I think they've been in the final twice now with that lineup. But Yannick's team have not won yet, but first time in the semis, first time in the finals. They are the Baden Masters of 2025. Lead thrower is Justin Hauser, second thrower Simon Gluer, third and skip Marco Hösli, fourth thrower Philip Hoesli. Congratulations, worthy champions here in Baden. Lots of love in the chat for this very likeable team who have really put in the work, and I couldn't be happier for them that all that work is coming good. What a match to finish on, says Jez. Yeah, absolutely. Big congratulations from everyone. We will go off and have our cosy little prize giving here in the club. We will take some photos for Instagram. So check back there. Next year's competition, not finalised yet, the date, but yes, it's typically middle of August, towards the end of August, so keep your eyes open. But what a finish there, a worthy final, worthy champions. I think it hardly matters. I think that was 2 yellow finally in the 8th end. It was a hit and roll from Philip, and the 2 yellows sitting around scored. But either way, it is a victory for Philip Hoesli's team from Switzerland over Yannick Schwaller. All of these games will be on the World Curling Tour YouTube channel. I know which game I'm going to be watching again. I will pass on all the congratulations from all the folks in the chat. The team said thank you very much for all the support when I was chatting to them before the final. They really appreciate everybody cheering and watching from all over the world. So thank you everyone in the online club. Come back in 2 weeks. Technical team will be in Chembra for the Trentino Curling World Cup. You'll see both of these teams again. I would love to see a repeat of that game. But for this year, from Baden Masters 2025, we're going to celebrate with champions Team Hoesli from Switzerland. Thank you very much for your company. Join us again next year. From Baden, bye for now.